am I going to give you the leadership role, but I know that you're going to get pregnant. So if you get pregnant in the next, 2-3 months, you will not be at work, right? Or you need to take care of your family. So how many times, will you be taking leave just to take care of your kid? Those were some preconceived notions that, women leaders also need to navigate through.
Welcome to another episode of Limitless. Today we have with us Lynn. She is the Director of Human Resources with the FrieslandCampina. Lynn, a warm welcome to you. How are you today?
Thank you very much, Nick. I'm doing great. That's so amazing to be back home in the Philippines for the holidays.
That's absolutely wonderful to hear. And I'm glad you have been back to the Philippines for the holidays because as we just discussed before, Christmas is very special in your country, isn't it?
Definitely, no, and it's always good to have some anchoring, I say, right? So anchoring with family, but also anchoring with food. Home cooked food, Filipino food is amazing.
That's absolutely wonderful. But otherwise, I understand you have a role now in another part of the world. Maybe we can start there. Where are you based otherwise?
Sure. So currently, I am the Cluster HR Director for FrieslandCampina for Nigeria and the rest of Sub-Saharan Africa. So I'm actually based in Lagos, Nigeria. And actually next week, I will be flying back to resume my role, though I'm resuming my role remotely, to be honest, right? So, but yes, so I've been with Friesland for a little over 5 years. And this role of mine is my third role in my third country. So it's been an amazing experience so far. So moving from Asia to another part of the world is a very good opportunity for me.
Oh, that's super exciting. And I've been following you for a while online as well. I saw you just received your latest promotion to the Cluster Human Resource Director a month ago. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. And the topic today, I was very excited also as we were talking about what you want to cover. And it's about leadership development and specifically Asian women in a male-dominated industry. So kick us off here, Lynn. What is that about?
Sure. So maybe I can start off, just to share my journey in terms of being an Asian and being a woman, an Asian woman leader. And actually, my journey started, I was an employee relations specialist in a manufacturing environment. Right. So, and as we all know, manufacturing is male dominated. And the role that I have, also employee relations, is not that typical and not that easy because the organization I was in was highly unionized. So can you imagine, how can I say, around 80% of the union population are male, and I'm the one who needs to manage that. Right. And then eventually I moved into multinationals. So one was into engineering and technology. And then eventually I moved to Philip Morris. Right. And in Philip Morris, again, is a highly regulated industry. At the same time also, when you look at the organization, you look at the ratio of male-female, it's actually male-dominated, right? But I'm very fortunate. I was able to, my last role in Philip Morris was actually a global head for Total Rewards operation. And that is where, I said, and I was so inspired. I think one of my passions and advocacies would be how do you really help develop Asian talents, specifically women Asian talents, because we do have a lot of great and amazing women Asian talents out there. And not just Filipinos, but I've met, and I've worked with very strong Malaysians, very strong Hong Kongese, not just Chinese, not just Indians, but even other parts of Asia. There are a lot of women, very strong women leaders as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And thank you for standing up for them and driving the cause forward. And then as an Asian woman, what unique challenges have you encountered then in your leadership roles?
So I think the fact that we're Asian, there's always that preconceived notion that we are meek. Right? That, we're not very assertive because we're not outspoken, we're not loud, right? So I think that's one, no, in terms of Asian, but more so if you're a woman, right? So I definitely know there are now a lot of growth in the society when it comes to looking at women, but when it comes to taking in leadership roles or really moving up the ladder, there are always that preconceived notion and unconscious bias of, am I going to give you the leadership role, but I know that you're going to get pregnant. So if you get pregnant in the next, 2-3 months, you will not be at work, right? Or you need to take care of your family. So how many times, will you be taking leave just to take care of your kids, of your family, etc.? So I think those were some preconceived notions that, women leaders also need to navigate through, right? I think the third one, and, just putting it out there, there's still that stigma that, or not, I don't want to say stigma, no, but again, a bias that males are stronger than females. But to be honest, I will challenge that. Who carries a child for 9 months? Female. Who actually gives birth? Female. So again, no, it's really a different lens than we have to look at. So, but I think those are the three, overarching challenges that women Asian leaders actually face in the workspace.
Yeah, and they are indeed some major challenges, and some of them we cannot even understand for sure. And maybe next you can share if there were any sort of key moments in your career that perhaps helped shape your confidence as a leader.
Yeah. So I think one of that is that like what I shared earlier, I've seen really amazing women Asian leaders out there. I was able to work side by side with them. And understanding, the challenges that they have, being the mom in the family, taking care of the family, of the children, but also balancing being able to work and really being very strong in their careers and being able to step up the ladder. They actually inspired me, right? So there is one manufacturing director from Indonesia who actually eventually became a chief diversity officer, right? There was one managing director or marketing director from Malaysia who eventually is a very strong managing director of an FMCG in Japan also, right? So these women leaders actually inspired me, right? The second one, I had a very good relationship with most of my bosses. And one very inspiring boss, his name is Charles Bendotti. I will put it out there because hopefully he will get to hear this. When he was giving me feedback, there was one feedback that he said that really inspired me. He said, when everyone knows this, when we give you a direction, Lynn, we can forget about it because we know it will happen. So we work with you. You're smart, you're intelligent, and all of that. But at the end of the day, of course, it's who would be able to deliver. That's very important as well. And me being able to balance that, right? Being able to balance the people orientation and also the task orientation. They said that we give you something, we're asked you to do something, we can forget about it, and you will do so much more, right? But I think the third one, and I will also mention his name, his name is Mateo. He was the president at that time of Philip Morris for Asia. One of my core projects was, his name is Mateo Pellegrini. One of my project at that time I was a regional talent manager at that time, is to fast track the development of Asian talents. Then when we were presenting, he said he loved the program. He's very, he's fully supportive. But he asked us one question, which to me impacted and really pivoted my thinking and how to develop Asians and Asian talents and women talents. He asked the question, are we trying to teach them English or are we trying to learn Chinese? So that was very profound, right? So because are we seeing Asian talents in the lens of a Westerner, or are we trying to understand Asian talents, Asian women talents, and understand and give them the opportunity in their space. So that to me is very, very profound and really until now inspired me. And in everything that I do, I'm very proud, representing to what you mentioned earlier, women, Asian, right? So, but at the end of the day, no, it's just being able to really impact. That's very important for me. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and that's wonderful that you share that. And if we then look into the cultural expectations, how do they influence the way Asian women lead or perhaps perceived in the workplace?
Yeah. So I think a lot of organizations now have actually matured, right? So, and for the past few years, right, there's a strong clamor for diversity and inclusion strategies, right? So it's there, no? It's out there. There has the needle has moved, if I may say so, right? So the number of women leaders in organizations, the CEO, global CEO of Chanel is a woman, and actually from HR, right? So it has actually moved the needle, right? So I think the space is available, it's there, but you can still see some biases here and there. And again, the world is not perfect, right? So we expect that, right? So the question then is how much awareness and how much willingness, will organizations acknowledge that and pivot again, right? And how do we actually sustain that, right? I think and I don't want to be political about it, but if you hear some presidents of big countries, demonstrating and saying words that are very anti-women or not supportive of, right? You get to think about it, right? So if we have leaders like this, then the other organizations would have to rein in. Because again, right, they also don't want some backlash to it, right? So I think it's the awareness and the willingness, to just be able to move forward and really provide opportunities. Women, Asian talents only want opportunities. We will do what we can, but you just need to give us equal opportunities so that we can also prove ourselves, right? So.
Yeah, and I think the equal opportunities that you mentioned here is absolutely vital. I remember in 2017, I organized and was part of a speaker panel in Singapore, and it was themed, Is the Future of Work a Man's World? And the title for that was because about 10% of the senior leadership and the board seats in Singapore in 2017, they were women. So 90% men and 10% women. And at that event, the question was to set an aggressive target, which was called 20 over 20. There should be 20% women, so double it by 2020.
Sure.
And we all know the truth. It hasn't happened, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. So what strategies can we then help and find to really voice, to get women to voice themselves in these male-dominated environments and to make it more equal?
Yeah. No, I think, Rob, again, sorry, I normally think in three. So I will say again, three things about what I would recommend to be strategies, right? So I think for women ourselves, I think our authenticity, right? And, just to be ourselves, if we're our strong selves, the caring and compassionate selves that we are, we just need to make sure that we put it out there, right? What we're doing is not because we are women per se, but because what we actually do can actually inspire and impact others. I think that's the bottom line for that, right? The second one is to be able to reach out bigger avenues or venues and platforms. So thank you very much for allowing me to do this. And it would really help for people like you and others that I've worked with also, like what I mentioned before, Charles and Mateo and all of the other people, that to give these opportunities to women Asian talents as well, right? Because again, what we only would like to have is equal opportunity. Right. So if we would have this male allyship, if I would say that, if I would use that term, that would give us a long way. right? So we have mentors who are women, mentors who are male. Again, at the end of the day, to us, it's just being given a opportunity, right? And I think the third one, and this now very specifically for women Asian talents as well, let us leverage on our strength, right? So let's look at, what other people or other people may say as our weakness, which is, our ability to listen, our compassion, and all of that. Let's recognize them not as weaknesses, but they're actually strengths, and use them and leverage them, right? To really make sure that we impact others, we positively impact the world, right? And that we actually inspire others, especially younger generation, that, we can make a difference in the world.
And you mentioned mentors there. Are there any mentors or role models who really played or impacted your leadership development?
Yeah, I mentioned to you before earlier, right? Charles, who was really very inspiring for me, and Mateo, who actually asked that question. The women leaders that I have now in FrieslandCampina very much also inspires me. So I'd like to mention them. No? Corinne Tapp, who's now the regional president for Asia for FrieslandCampina. And then Patricia Snell, who's a CHRO for FrieslandCampina based in the Netherlands as well. No, very inspiring for me. Okay. And then there's one more, no? He is a very strong advocate of women leaders also in FrieslandCampina. His name is Harvey Wong. He was previously based in Singapore, now based in Netherlands. He's actually a business group president also. And, just to share, he's also an Asian. So he's actually a Filipino as well, right? So, but a global lead, no? A global business head for us for FrieslandCampina. So again, very inspiring. These are all inspiring and amazing people.
Fantastic. I'm so happy that you found them and that they came into your life to make you who you are today, Lynn. And any advice you want to give to any Asian women who are listening perhaps to this podcast and who are aspiring to reach the kind of heights and positions that you have?
Yeah. So, I think one, which is very glaring, especially in the different roles that I've taken in. Don't be scared, right? Have courage, right? So a lot of people ask, Lynn, you're going to be based in Nigeria and I'm alone, right? So they all ask, aren't you scared? I said, I will anchor back on what my purpose is, which is, again, nourishing people and planet. And to me, my personal one is helping people help themselves, right? So anchor on your purpose. Have courage, right? So have the courage to embrace new things. Have courage to be uncomfortable, okay? And I think the third one is the world is so much more bigger than us. So in every little thing that we do, it's not about me. It's actually the world that I am impacting and the people that I'm helping.
Beautiful, Lynn. Thank you for sharing that. And I just have one last question today, and that's perhaps to anyone who's listening out there as a business leader. What can organizations do to better support the leadership development for women in male-dominated industries, such as manufacturing and so on, where you come from?
I mentioned it earlier, and I will emphasize it again. Equal opportunity. That's the only thing that we need, right? So if we are given that opportunity, if we are given that chance, right, it's going to be up to us to prove ourselves. And we can do that. But again, what we only want to make sure is that we have that equal opportunity. So that equal chance, no, in everything from hiring, promotion, enablement, assignment, projects, and all of that, right? Just give us the opportunity and give us the space to deliver. Definitely, we will deliver.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing so much positivity and positive energy, which we all need in the beginning of a year, Lynn. It's been great having you on the show. And just finally, if any of the listeners want to contact you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Sure, no problem. So I am in LinkedIn. So the best way is to touch base in my LinkedIn. I have my email address there and my mobile phone there. So please, no, just connect with me in LinkedIn and, in social media and all of that. So fantastic. I would be looking forward if there's anyone out there who wants to connect, have good conversation, please do so.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Lynn, and thanks to all the listeners as well. And I wish you a great rest of the week.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick. It was an amazing opportunity. Thank you for giving me this chance. And like what you said, no, I'm also energized at the start of the year. It's the first week of the year, and it's a good energy for me to also start the ball rolling for me. Thank you.
Thank you.